to watch Gymnast86 speedrun Majora's Mask 3D, the objectively better Zelda game. What you gonna do about it, OOT fans? I don't know, OOT fans, we got a couple of seconds to squad up. And on that note, I think we are ready to go. Everyone give a big round of applause to Gymnast86 for our next 3DS Zelda game.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am Gymnast86, and today I'm going to be running, I believe, Majora's Mask 3D. I think it just managed to outdo Ocarina of Time 3D in the bid war that we have here, so that is the game that we have up and ready to run. With me today, I have one lovely commentator, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm not the lovely commentator, but I'm Ben Stevens. I'm just filling in because, yeah, that's me. I've run this game a couple of times, various categories, so I know my way around a little bit.
All right, well, without further ado, I'm going to quickly just change some settings, my preferred camera settings for the run, and then we shall get started. So if we are ready on the time, we can begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So, Majora's Mask 3D. This is a remake of the N64 title, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, except this time on a 3DS. And it is being played on an actual 3DS, as you can see right here. This is not being done on emulator or some other system. This is being done on an actual 3DS that has a lot of wires coming out of it. This run is being done on the Japanese version of the game. The language doesn't really matter a whole lot. The Japanese text saves like maybe a second or two over the course of this whole run. And version also doesn't really matter. There's version 1.0 and version 1.1 of this game, and version 1.1 does patch a few things, but none of those things are important for the any percent run that we'll be showcasing for you guys today. So yeah. The last time that Majora's Mask 3D was shown off at AGDQ was SGDQ 2018, which was 3.5 years ago. And that was also an any percent run, but that any percent run had an estimate of 1 hour and 40 minutes, whereas the estimate this time is a lot shorter, and that's because we are now able to skip quite a lot more of the game than we were before, and we're really excited to show you guys how we do that today.
If you remember watching that run from 3 years ago, this is going to look a lot different, pretty indistinguishable, at least for the second half of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, a staple of Majora's Mask speedrunning known as First Cycle is still a part of this run, so we will have to go through the first 3-day sequence just as Deku Link, not really being able to do very much to have it go very fast, and then get our Ocarina back from Skull Kid before we can begin doing the things that make this run interesting. Now, weirdly enough, it actually is possible to skip the first cycle in this game. It's just really slow and really difficult. So it's not worth it from a speedrunning perspective to try and do that for this run, unfortunately. Though it is very cool that it's possible at all.
This run would be very scary at a GDQ setting if that trick was faster. So it kind of sucks that it's not, but at the same time, that would be kind of a nightmare to pull off at at like a situation like this.
Right, yeah, so because you guys chose Majora's Mask 3D instead of OOT 3D, you guys chose Chaos. I'm just letting you know that now. The beginning of the run is pretty calm, but it is definitely a calm before the storm, because there's some very difficult things that we'll be doing later in the run, which I alluded to in my interview earlier. But now that we finally have control of Link, we can start things off with some backwalking. Backwalking is generally the fastest form of movement that we have throughout this run, so you'll be seeing me use it quite a lot. And then we can jump over these logs here. There's a very exciting 20 seconds of gameplay in between these cutscenes.
Now we're back to the best part of the game, the cutscenes. Yay!
And the best part of GDQ, reading donations. Do we have any Crank Machine?
Oh, we have plenty. We have a
right.
$5 donation from Mopey Mantella. It says, "Hey Jim, good luck on the run. I haven't been able to make it to streams due to work, but happy to stay up late for the run." We also have Vimilia, who donates $30, saying, "Hey, oh Jimbo, all the luck and support from me and all of my lovelies who aren't able to donate tonight. You got this, less than 3. Do we have time for a couple more?
Oh yeah, let's keep them coming.
All right. Stop me whenever. We have a $5 donation from I'm Just Aces saying, "Hey Jim, good luck on the run. So hyped for Majoras, unless Twitch chat switches it up on me. You'll do fab." We have a $200 donation from Agent Otter saying, "My favorite Zelda speedrunner playing my favorite Zelda game. Shut up and take my orange rupee." I can completely understand that sentiment. We got a $250 donation from Patamon saying, "Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are near and dear to my heart. It was the games that my daughter played on the 3DS while she was going through her chemo treatments for leukemia. We are looking forward to watching this game be ran into submission, just like her leukemia was, and it has been 5 years in remission." Thank you so much. We have a $5 donation from Insanity Shall Reign, saying, I usually try to do my donation when my favorite runner is on stream, but I don't think I can do it this marathon. I was really hoping to catch a gymnast run live, but it just got too late for me to watch, and still make it work on time tomorrow. I'll be watching it as soon as the VOD makes it to YouTube. Good luck on whatever run gets chosen, Jim. Awake or asleep, I'll be cheering you on."
All right, well, thank you very much for those lovely donations, everybody.
Yeah, shout out to the East Coast crew for staying up late.
Yeah. I mean, the time works out fine for me because I'm on the west coast of the United States, but it is currently past 2 a.m. on the East Coast.
Yep.
Alrighty. Now we finally get control of Deku Link, and we're just going to go through these first few tutorial rooms pretty much, and also get acquainted with Tattle, our fairy helper. One of the kind of annoying things about Deku Link in this game, at least compared to the original Majora's Mask, is that they significantly reduced the speed at which Deku Link accelerates when he walks. So it just basically makes Deku Link a lot slower than we would otherwise be used to if we played the original game.
Yeah, not only did they decrease his acceleration, but also his max velocity is a lot slower than the original game.
So we can side hop right here to skip having to go through that last flower. Just a neat little time save in this part of the run where you would more or less just have to do everything else as you would expect it to do. Now we finally get over to the clock tower. Now, in the original Majora's Mask, you can do a skip to not have to watch the Happy Mask Salesman cutscene up here. But we can't do that in the 3DS version. And the way it works in the original game is you would basically pause on every single frame that you would run up to the door as Deku Link, and the cutscene wouldn't be able to activate because cutscenes in Majora's Mask take 2 frames to activate. So if you pause the gameplay every single frame, the cutscene never has a chance to play. Unfortunately, we cannot do that in this game, at least not yet, because we don't have the ability to pause in-game frame perfectly, since the only way we can pause is with either the item menu or the mask menu. And since we only activate those menus with touchscreen buttons, those menus take 2 frames to come up, so it wouldn't really work to skip the cutscene. But the text is really fast anyway, so not a really long cutscene that we have to go through.
Yeah, I think despite the fact that the original game skips that cutscene and this one doesn't, I think because the text is so fast, the 3DS would actually beat the original game getting out of the clock tower just because, yeah, it's so fast.
Now we're actually in Clocktown proper, where time is going to begin passing forward. And the goal that we essentially have right now is to make it to midnight of the 3rd day as fast as possible. And thankfully there are a few things we can do to speed up that process. The first, which we're going to go do now, is we're going to talk to Granny in the Stockpot Inn. And Granny has some stories that she can tell us, which Deku Link just kind of falls asleep for, unless you happen to have the All Knights mask, but we're not going to be getting that mask in this run.
Spoilers.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, no All Knights mask, everyone. Just pretend you didn't hear that. So Granny's located in here. We're specifically going to have her tell us the story of the 4 giants, which is going to advance time forward to 8 a.m. of the next day. So this is going to get us to day 2. And then talking to Granny again, listening to the story again, will get us all the way to day 3. So now that we were able to go through the first 2 days pretty quickly, although we're going to have to wait for some time now, because we unfortunately can't just automatically make it midnight of the 3rd day right away. And to skip our next big passage of time, we're going to be going to West Clocktown. So while we do that, we have time for 2 or 3 more donations.
Sure thing. We got Just a Gamer John donating $100, saying, to my bestest buddy and fiercest rival, gymnast86. Best of luck from the Pillow Fort.
Thank you very much, John.
We have Joshua FE8 donating $5, saying, hello, Jim. Joshua here, sending you the best of luck plus hugs. And I'm wondering if you'll let myself and Crystal have a cookie yet.
Maybe. I'll have to think about that one.
We have time for one more?
Yeah, let's do one more.
All right, we got Mama Nats donating $25 and saying, hey, AGDQ, hey, Jim, good luck with the run. We are all here rooting for you. Show that mask who's the boss. Goon, JD, Wem, and Leafy all wish you the best of luck too.
Oh, thank you very much, guys. Hope that the run is good, because we still have not gotten to the hard part yet.
All right. So Jim kind of mentioned this earlier, but really, like, the whole point, or like the main optimization of this beginning portion is really just making sure that time is passing as often as possible. So we want to avoid things like text boxes or cutscenes or loading zones as much as possible, because we can't really do anything substantial until midnight.
All right, so while we're waiting for midnight, there are a few more things that we can get done. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go and get the silver rupee chest that's in the stock hut in here. We weren't able to get this earlier because the door wouldn't have been open until the night of the 3rd day, so that's why we came back now after getting the stray fairy in Clocktown. And we're also going to be getting magic by picking up the stray fairy and going to the great fairy in North Clocktown, because it's not possible to get the ocarina back from Skull Kid unless you do have magic, because you need to shoot a Deku bubble out at Skull Kid if you want him to drop the ocarina, so that's why we have to go and do that. There was one technique that we did earlier in the run that it was pretty easy to miss, called a tattle text skip. There are some places in the game where, like, you know, there's a trigger where, you know, tattle will tell you some text for something. But we can actually skip those if we shield and then spin between shielding as we're going through the trigger, like we just did right here. So that we don't have to go through the cutscene of listening to Tattle say something, and then this just makes time pass a little bit faster.
Yeah, because even though the movement's really slow to like stop and shield and then spin, what's important is not how fast Link is moving right now, but just how fast in-game time is passing. So we don't want that text to slow us down.
Yeah, and we're also going to have to do the same thing on the way back, because the trigger still is there, and we don't want to activate it on the way back either. Got our magic. So while we're doing this, we have time for a few more donations, I would say.
All right, I'll squeeze in what I can. We got Matt LOL donating $1,000, saying, hi, Jim, dipping into my lawnmower fund to wish you good luck. Hope Majora isn't hard.
Lawnmower fun. There's a story behind that.
There is a story behind that. Matt likes lawnmowers, that's all I'll say.
We also have a $15 donation from Ratgwen that says, had to donate what I could for my favorite runner. Looking sharp, Jim.
Thank you very much. One more? Yeah, we can do one more.
All right, we have fast. How do I say this? We have fast as the. We have $10 from them saying, good luck on the run, Jim. Hopefully Majora treats you nicely this run.
Alrighty, so now we're buying explosives, which might seem kind of confusing because we can't use explosives as Deku Link. But the reason I bought explosives now is because I'm going to need explosives once we begin the second cycle. And buying explosives now means that I'll be able to buy bombs for cheaper than what like the price of the bomb bag would be, and I'll be able to buy more bomb shoes than I otherwise would normally be able to. So right now it's about 9:30 on night of the third day. Normally you would have to go and get the Moon's Tier from the bombers, or get the Moon's Tier by playing hide and seek with the bombers and getting into the bombers' hideout, and then give the Moon's Tier to the business scrub that appears at that flower right there. So you can make him leave and then use the flower to get up to the clock tower here. But it's actually pretty easy for us to just get up here regardless. We can do this thing called a gainer as Deku Link, which is basically a backflip where we untarget and then retarget the frame after we start the backflip. So that's how we get up here, if I can time it correctly. Timing is a bit difficult for this, and the camera doesn't really make it any easier.
Yeah, it's technically a decently precise trick, but oh yeah, walking on the heart.
Walking on the heart.
Yeah. For some reason, you can't collect hearts or any items after you climbed up a ledge if you continue targeting. It's really weird.
Anyway, we've got nothing else to do until midnight strikes and another cutscene plays, so do we have any more donations to read?
Oh, we have plenty. We have $25 from Arc Perfect saying, "Hey Jim, it's always great watching you run at GDQ. You're the reason I got into speedruns in the first place. Best of luck on the chaotic Majora run. Don't Jim bonk too much." We have $50 from One True Gerbot saying, "Gotta throw a donation for one of my favorite games. One of my favorite game series. Hype for this run for Gymnast86 and for raising money to defeat cancer." We have a $10 donation from Mortal Draw saying, "I'm really excited about watching my favorite cartwheeler streamer break one of my most beloved Zelda games. Good luck getting those rad tones. Jim, go. Jim, go."
Go, Jim, go.
Go, Jim, go. Alright, so back there before we entered the clock tower, we did another title text skip. Just skip another single piece of dialogue that title would have given us. And now we meet the Skull Kid, who really likes throwing that ocarina up and down in the air.
He's pretty good at it. He's not even looking. He's just like...
Yeah.
He's pretty confident.
I'm sure it's a practice skill.
As are most things.
Alright, so once this cutscene is over, we're going to get some very exciting 5 seconds of gameplay, where we're going to shoot the Deku Bubble at Skull Kid, he's going to drop the ocarina, and then we are going to pick it up. So let's watch these exciting moments unfold right here.
Fun fact, Deku Bubbles are the only thing that you actually need magic for in the entire run. If you were somehow able to skip magic, every other item that, requires magic doesn't actually, need it. Only Deku Bubbles do.
Now we get our few minutes of Zelda in this Legend of Zelda title.
It is a Zelda game.
She's going to teach us the Song of Time, and then we're going to use it to go back in time. So while this happens, we have time for even more donations.
They keep pouring in. We have $50 from Bacon Bits saying, "Hey Jim, good luck on the run. Jim, go." We also have $100 from Dreadmaker saying, "It's late on the East Coast, but I had to stay up and wait for Gymnast to run. I love Majora's Mask, and Gymnast is an incredible streamer and commentator. Just watching him, I've learned so much about the games I used to love as a kid, and still love as an adult. Thank you so much for the content, Jim, and good luck on the run."
Well, thank you very much for that.
Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, we can do one more.
All right. We have $250 from Miziku's saying, "Less than 3. Our healthcare providers stay strong during these difficult times."
All right, now we got the Deku Pipes out, and we can play the Song of Time. Interestingly, you can actually play songs really fast in this game, compared to both OOT 3D and the N64 Zelda titles. You can actually play songs so fast that you can play the entire song sequence correctly but you can accidentally add an extra note onto the end of it, and the game will consider it incorrect and give you the big red X. It's a little silly, but that doesn't usually happen.
It doesn't usually happen to you? That happens
Not
to me
usually.
all the time. That happens to me all the time. I hate it.
You're playing your ocarina songs too fast. I mean, to be fair, the game kind of encourages it, so...
You gotta go fast. Come on,
You do gotta go fast. Alright, so we do have to watch this cutscene in this version of the game also. In the original game, the Song of Time actually saves the game for you when you play it. But that is not the case in the 3DS version. If you want to save in the 3DS version, you actually have to like save at either a feather statue or an owl statue, which we will be doing at a few points later on in this run. So, still gotta watch this cutscene. And then after this, we have to watch the cutscene where we transform back into Human Link and also get the Deku Mask and the Bomber's Notebook in this version of the game. So, we're already about halfway through this run, and we've, like, kind of barely done anything. So, something crazy is going to kind of have to happen in the next 20 minutes here or so, if we're going to be beating the game. So after this cutscene is over, we're going to make our way to the Deku Palace and perform a trick known as Moonwarp, which is going to send us all the way up to the final boss of the game. And the main technique we use to achieve Moonwarp is a glitch known as Stale Reference Manipulation, or SRM. Now, if you've watched any Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask GDQ runs within the past year, you've probably already seen SRM in action, and in this run, you're going to see it again. To understand how SRM works, we first have to explain what's known as the heap. The heap is a region of memory which is used to load anything that is dynamic within the game. This can include things like bombs, NPCs, textures, or collision data. If some data on the heap no longer needs to be loaded, the game will free that specific memory range within the heap. And also, I think I lost the signal, but that's okay. I can just plug the cable back in.
Uh-oh.
Hello. There we go. Is it up? There it goes. All right. Anyway.
3DS capture devices are a bit temperamental.
Right. So anyway, back to the heap, including things like bombs, NPCs, textures, or collision data. If some data on the heap no longer needs to be loaded, the game will free the specific memory range within the heap where that data was. And something that needs to be loaded in the future can take that memory region instead. Sometimes the game will need to modify data that's on the heap instead of just getting rid of it. For example, when Link is holding an object over his head, the game will need to update the position of that object to constantly be above Link. And to do this, the game uses what's known as a pointer or reference to the memory region on the heap that contains the object. And when Link moves, it uses that reference to move the object as well. However, once the object is gone from the heap, such as a pot that breaks or a bomb that blows up, the game also needs to make sure that any references it had to the memory region where the object was are reset to avoid any unintended behavior. But what we're going to do in the Deku Palace is we're going to perform a sequence of techniques that will keep a reference to a bomb above Link's head even after it explodes. Then we're going to manipulate the heap in such a way that a Deku guard in the palace is loaded onto the heap in the region where the bomb previously was. This is going to cause the reference we still have to modify the data of the Deku guard as if it was an object above Link's head while Link is moving around. And if we move to the correct location, we can change what's known as the entrance index that the Deku guard uses when he throws Link out of the Deku Palace to instead throw Link up to the moon. Now, I know that was a lot of information to process, and it will be on the test, so I do hope you are taking notes. But that is an explanation of the crazy thing we're going to be doing in this run that allows us to get to the final boss very quickly. But before we actually do that, we do have to make our way over to the Deku Palace. So what we're first going to do is we're going to go buy the explosives that we want in Second Cycle. And we're going to also do a safety save just in case something bad happens, we'll have a point to return to. Because normally in the run you wouldn't save at this point. But there are still some rare ways that we can accidentally crash and whatnot.
There's a lot of scary things in this run.
Yeah. We're gonna go over and get the silver rupee in West Clocktown now, or excuse me, East Clocktown. And we will go use it to buy some explosives. So while we're doing this, we have time for 2 or 3 more donations.
Sounds good. We got $20 from Super Whooper 64 saying, "Hey Jim, as always, good luck today." We also have $100 from Nerds with Games saying, "Hello Jimothy. It feels like it wasn't long ago that you ran this game at SGDQ 2018. Man, this game has changed a lot. Let's hope no home menu buffer hard locks." Next GDQ, you're submitting low percent, right? Jim, choose a bid war. Whatever you want, put this towards the opposite. Otherwise, Ben's choice.
Okay.
We also have... Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, so right here I'm going to be buying 10 bombs, and then even though I don't have enough money for it, I'm going to be purchasing 20 bomb shoes. And the reason I can do that is because of the fact that the rupee counter in the game does not decrease fast enough to make sure that we can't buy a second set of bomb shoes after we bought the first one. So we managed to buy 110 rupees worth of explosives with only 99 rupees. So we kind of scammed the bomb shop owner a little bit. Anyway, we have time for that one more donation now.
All right, we got $20 from Rocky saying, "I see those lamps, Jim. One last look at the glorious lamps."
All right, so on our way to the Deku Palace, we're going to be doing what's known as Skull Kid cutscene skip right here. And we're going to be using a technique known as bomb time stop to do this. And even though I have bombs, just for a little bit of extra safety, I'm going to see if I can get some extra ones in the grass right here. Unfortunately not. No, that's okay. So I'm going to be essentially pulling out the ocarina and then shielding on a specific frame of an animation of a bomb exploding above Link's head. So, and I'm going to be using what's known as home buffering to do this, where I can very easily buffer in-game, or buffer frame by frame using the home menu. So that's what I will be doing here. And on this frame, I'm going to want to press down on the ocarina on the touchscreen. The next frame, I'm going to want to release the ocarina. And then on this frame, I'm going to want to hold L and R to shield, which will give me control of Link.
Nice.
And this will allow me to go through the Skull Kid cutscene trigger without activating it, which saves like 2 minutes or something ridiculous, because that's a long cutscene.
Really long. Basically, oh, we should probably explain that.
Yeah, and then right here, we're going to attempt to do a slight time saver trick known as a Deku Flower Slide. I didn't quite get it, though. Oh, what the heck? Okay, I thought I was still in the flower. Never mind, we'll just spin. Spinning is fun.
Yeah, that only saves a little bit of time. Basically, the way that cutscene skip worked that Jim did earlier is when you enter like the ocarina state, you can't like interact with a cutscene. But if you find a way to move around while in that state, you know, you can just walk right past it.
All right, and cutscenes can't activate in that state, so
Yeah.
no Skull Kid cutscene. We're going to pick up a Deku Stick right here. This Deku Stick will come in mighty handily for the final boss fight that will be happening in hopefully just a few minutes here. But first, we have to get to the Deku Palace to perform Moonwarp. So one of the things that we're going to do to get there is what's known as the Big Octo Skip. Basically, I'm going to be using what's known as a long jump to jump over this Big Octo. And then the Big Octo on the other side will kind of just take me and spit me out on the correct side here, thankfully. And then I have to swim through the poison water to this ledge over here. Hopefully have 3/4 of a heart by the time that I go up. All right, very nice. This is good for damage routing. And side hop as Deku Link because, once again, the Deku Link acceleration is very slow if you just kind of walk forward. And then once we get to this lily pad, we're going to be playing the Song of Double Time so that we can make it 5 p.m. of the current day. Because to achieve stale reference manipulation in the upcoming area, we do need to specifically shield and pick up a bomb on a very specific frame as it turns from day to night inside the Deku Palace. So this is where the chaos begins.
This is where stuff gets crazy. And this is also where stuff gets scary. Well, I mean, it's always been scary, but this is the horizon.
All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to save the game and then quit back out and then open up the game again, because this is going to be the beginning of our heap setup. In this game, basically, like everything goes on the heap, so the heap setup begins as soon as you turn on the game. And the start of our setup is to wait on the title screen and do nothing.
So basically, as the game is loading in new stuff, it kind of gets added to this list of like, hey, these are things that are loaded, have been loaded, don't want to be loaded anymore. And everything on the title screen is a part of that list. So we need to wait until we get to a certain point right here to load in that Clock Town scene. So now all that stuff that was on that Clock Town was loaded into this scene. And now this next bit here, Jim is going to be doing a very specific combination of actions at very specific times to basically load things into the heap and then unload them at very specific time and order. And yeah, it's going to get pretty crazy. So there are several frame perfect inputs here. So it gets, this is pretty precise what's about to happen here. So the first thing that Jim is going to load in is a bomb. And now he needs to buffer to a very specific frame, specifically 11 frames after it turns 551. Okay, that looks good.
Yep, and now on this frame, we're going to shield the bomb shoe.
Then the bomb explodes, which adds the explosion particles. Then he loads in that model of the sword from the menu, pulls out his sword and shield so that he can shield this bomb. And then on this frame, he needs to pick up the bomb and shield at the same time. And what's going to happen is the bomb shoe blows up the bomb as he's picking it up. And now he's holding the bomb over his head, but it's gone. So the game is basically trying to... It still has references to that bomb that blew up. And now Jim needs to drop this bomb at a very specific location at a very specific time. This is very precise.
One frame after 624, and we begin back walking.
Okay, so his angle needs to be at a very specific spot.
That was one frame, so this should be the one where we shield, and we don't crash, okay?
Don't crash, okay. Now he needs to make it to...
Okay. Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, we got bad Deku Guard RNG. Well, and I also bonked.
That was...
So who's ready to do that all over again?
Wow, here we go.
Yeah, so even though we did everything correctly there, we did just kind of get screwed over by the guard pattern where that one Deku Guard was turning around right as we wanted to cross behind him. And that's bad because the one Deku Guard that we're editing the entrance index of is all the way on the other side of the Deku Palace. But when we're doing, or one of the side effects of this SRM setup that we do is that it causes the Deku Guard to only walk in a single direction. For basically like the rest of his heap existence. Which means that eventually he walks out of bounds and we can't get to him anymore. And if we do not get to him in time, there's nothing we can do except just retry the entire thing all over again. Which is unfortunately now what we have to do.
His poor, miserable heap existence.
I mean, no, it's
just like books it.
It's 6 p.m. and he's off the clock.
Yeah. Okay, so just a repeat of the steps that were happening before. Just a neat little thing, because it would be really annoying to buffer 11 frames after 551. What Jim actually does here is he shields on this frame and then uses the animation of Link standing back up to kind of tell what frame he's on instead of buffering 11 frames, that would take forever.
So this frame right here again, LR and A. We transition to night, and we have the stale reference above our head again.
I'm always so nervous when you pause buffer on the correct frame, like after shielding. All right, here we go again.
So 1 frame of nothing, and 6 frames of back walking. after this one.
One more.
Yep.
Okay.
Now shield.
Don't crash.
The game does not crash.
Deku scrub. Be nice.
I don't think we're gonna make. Oh, wait. He turned around quickly. Go. Go
past that guy.
Don't turn around. Don't turn around. Okay.
Don't turn around.
Didn't
Okay,
turn
we're
around.
good. I think you can make it. Go. Okay.
Okay. We caught him.
So that guy
And
will
now-
keep going. He'll go through the wall.
Right, and now no dungeon masks, no remains, no bow, no light arrows, no fire arrows, no hook shot, none of that stuff. And here we are in the moon.
Wow. That trick is
Okay.
crazy.
And we also only have a quarter heart left. But thankfully, we do kind of have a solution to that. I'm just going to pull out a bomb, and this is going to trigger a death warp here in the moon. So that we can have full health when we actually fight Majora, the final boss up here. So, believe it or not, that moon warp was actually not the hard part of the run. The hard part of the run begins now. And right before we get there, I think we have time for one more quick donation.
One quick donation coming up. We got Kai303 donating $250 saying, "Good luck, gymnast."
Thank you very much, Kai. I will need the good luck if we're gonna actually finish this run under estimate. So we're gonna safety save right before the final boss, and then we shall begin the fight. One thing you're gonna see me do a lot of in this fight is you're going to see me do what's known as the invisible Deku Stick glitch. Basically, if you pull out a Deku Stick and then pull out the ocarina and put away the ocarina, Link will still be holding the Deku Stick, but it will be invisible, and you'll just be able to use it an infinite amount of times, which is really great because the Deku Stick is more powerful than the Kokiri Sword in this run. And we also only have one Deku Stick, so we don't want it to break.
I actually think it's not invisible. It's just like really, really, really tiny, and I have no idea why.
Well, Ray, I mean, it's not going to look like Link is holding anything. Okay, mask. So basically right now we just kind of have to wait for the mask to try and spin attack us. Hopefully it does so from a good elevation. And then we'll be stunning it with a quick spin of our own, and then having it be damaged by the bomb explosion back there. Stun it again using this bomb explosion, and then do a jump slash with the Kokiri Sword. Equip our stick because we're going to need this for doing the last 2 hits to the mask now. Now I'm going to have to very quickly shield a bomb shoe to stun the mask again if we want this part of the fight to go well. Okay, very good. Do the invisible Deku Stick glitch, and then do another bomb shoe pull to stun the mask, and one more invisible Deku Stick glitch. Alright, and then immediately turn around because I want the remains to shoot me and get rid of their energy balls during this cutscene. The remains, thankfully, will only shoot you if you are looking at them, so we can use that in this fight to try and not have the remains shoot at us by always sort of staring at the wall when the incarnation is stunned. Now, stunning the incarnation is another very tricky and wild thing. So let's see where the incarnation decides to run around to here. Essentially, as the incarnation runs by me, I want to try to shield a bomb shoe to stun it, and I might be able to get it right here. No, it looks a little too far away. Oh, no, okay, we got it.
That's a good spot.
Right.
Oh,
now, we're going to try to get the incarnation to go towards a wall. Okay, I guess this kind of works. We can try it. Use the ocarina just to make sure I target forward without targeting the incarnation. Ooh, okay.
Oh, I cannot believe that angle saved you.
Yeah, that's
so
the really
dangerous.
scary attack. Yeah.
That basically kills you. And there's almost nothing you can do about it if you get in a bad situation. I just want to say, this fight is really hard if you have all of the items that are good to like fight. Like, this is very difficult what Jim is doing right here.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that works.
Oh, okay, that also works somehow. Yeah, so ideally we want to be in front of, okay, that also worked. I don't know how we're getting this lucky.
So lucky.
Okay. We
That
got
went
the incarnation
so well.
down. Now it's time for the Wrath. For the Wrath, we're going to try and stun it and then do 20 invisible Deku Stick stabs, but the remains can actually help us here because it's possible for the remains to stun and damage Wrath as well if one of their energy balls hits him. And I'm going to shield them all right away so that we don't get hit by them.
Potentially almost sort of time, so just...
Yeah,
This
time
might
can just
be
happen
long or
randomly
short.
if the remains decide to help us. Okay, we got the stun in. Now we try to do the Deku stick
Nice.
stabs. $19, $20 time.
Nice.
Whew. Okay. Okay, the run is over. And we beat Majora with a stick, some bomb shoes, and some bombs. And
Didn't take
that was
any
about
damage.
it.
That was a great
Yeah,
fight.
I didn't take any damage. That was that like. I don't remember the last time I went through that entire fight without taking damage, to be quite honest. I don't know how some of those hits on Incarnation actually worked. It did not look like they should have. And the one time that Incarnation gave me the energy ball attack, I probably shouldn't have survived that either. But thankfully, all the cards fell in the right place, and we were able to successfully finish the run without too much of a hiccup, except for that one guard during the Moonwarp setup. So I'm very happy with how this run turned out. Very quickly before I let you guys go, I just want to give shoutouts to all the people who worked on the Moonwarp setup in this game. You guys saw how precise that setup we were doing was, right? That setup took 9 months of work and research to figure out, right? 9 months, because of how complicated the heap is in this game and the limitations that we have on being able to perform stale reference manipulation. So big shoutouts to Mr. Cheese, Exodus, Flex Plexico, Big M, Wildalum, and Gabby El Nuevo for all of their combined efforts into figuring out how to make the Moonwarp possible in this game. But yeah, with that, I believe that's it from me. Do you have anything you want to say, Ben?
Great job on that fight at the end. That was crazy. I can't believe I actually just watched that. That was insane. Yeah, good job.
Thank you. And I guess I don't have like the stream up, but do you know what the time on the run was, Crank Machine?
The run was 38:50.
Okay, good. It was underestimate, so we take those.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Fantastic
that
job.
is it from me. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching the chaos that is Majora's Mask 3D any percent. Maybe we'll get to see a different category next time. Who knows? But until then, I will see you guys all later. So bye, and thanks for watching, and keep on donating. It's for a good cause.
All right, congratulations, Gymnast. What an incredible run. I just want to squeeze one thing in. We got a $100 donation from Zilla. Says, from a Zelda game where the princess barely appears to a Zelda game where Link barely appears. Let's go. After a run that amazing, I definitely think we could all use a break. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll be right back after a quick break. Welcome back, everyone. We're gonna go ahead and make a few tweaks to the stream, make sure everything is running shiny and smooth, but I won't be back when we come back. Thank you all for all of your support. It was a wonderful time. I am the Crank Machine, and I'll be signing off. Peace. The stream is about to go down. We'll be right back. Don't panic.
Well, excuse me, gamers. Fancy seeing you here. Aren't you all looking like such a prime group of cute chatters? Wink, wink. Hello.